Hi, I'm Valen and I'm the owner and curator of the Abyssal Vault. I'm a horror fan, but I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of horror films like some other channels claim to have. I'm just an enthusiastic movie buff who wants to share some of the movies that I happen to enjoy. This video has my suggestions for some interesting horror movies for the Halloween period. They're spoiler free and give you just enough information to whet your appetite. Why is it an alternative horror fest? Simple. All the movies I've chosen are foreign language picks rather than the English language ones you might expect from an English speaking person. I hope my suggestions interest you enough to take a chance on these foreign language gems. There are 7 movies in all and are in no particular order. My first pick is the Japanese film Infection. The film is set in a run-down hospital running low on supplies and medical staff. Under pressure to provide care for the patients they have, staff morale is dangerously low, and with a failed paediatrician and a newly qualified but badly trained nurse in the mix, a medical error leads to a patient death. As the staff involved in a patient's death stage a cover-up, a newly delivered patient starts an infection in the hospital. Why is the mystery disease only affecting members of the cover-up, and can the infection be stopped? Infection has enough gore to keep gorehounds satisfied and enough mystery to keep you engaged for the length of the movie. The colours red and green have a great deal of importance in this film, so people with colour blindness may struggle a bit, but otherwise it's an interesting watch. My second pick is the French movie Maléfique. I do hope I've pronounced that correctly. Set mostly in a prison cell, a newly convicted fraudster joins a wife-murdering former librarian, a baby-eating lunatic with the mind of a child, and a transgender woman whose greatest wish is for a sex change operation in their miserable prison existence. The grinding boredom and trying to avoid the rodents and bugs are just part of their daily routine as they yearn for escape. One day they find a manuscript behind a loose brick in the wall of their cell. It's a journal filled with black magic symbols and formulas. A book with a promise of escape for the desperate men. Escape or damnation. Maléfique is a slow burn for a significant part of the movie, but that only makes the black magic portion much more welcome when it arrives. A couple of buckets of blood for the gorehounds, and an interesting premise for those who like thought-provoking stories. The only problem some viewers might have with it is the collage made by the childlike lunatic, which is made up of various images of female genitalia cut from pornographic magazines. It's an important early indication of the dark forces gathering in the cell, so it's seen in close up at one point. My third pick is Hell, a horror movie from Thailand. 7 documentary filmmakers set off on a trip to film their latest documentary when they become involved in a car accident. As they exit their vehicle, they find themselves in a strange, barren landscape filled with fiery eruptions. They're surrounded by demons and led across the plains of hell to an area of suffering and torture straight from Dante's Inferno. The 7 get split up, and while 5 of the group are set to be tortured, the other 2 are taken to the place of reincarnation. One of the duo discovers, to his horror, that not all of the group are dead in the mortal world, so they set off to reunite with the others and save themselves and the rest of the group. Can all 7 make it back to the mortal realm, or are they destined to remain in hell? Blood and guts abound in this film, and it's a good character study of the different group members as they question the life choices that brought them to hell. It's also fascinating to see the group dynamics breaking down as desperation to escape brings selfish traits to the fore. And it's a really intriguing view of hell. My fourth pick is a bit of a cheat, as you can view it in an English dubbed version, but I recommend the Italian version of Caltiki, the Immortal Monster. This is a glorious black and white movie in which we join an archaeological expedition investigating the reasons why the Mayans left the city of Tikal under such mysterious circumstances and moved northwards. Two members of the expedition find a previously undiscovered altar to the goddess Caltiki in a cavern, but only one of them makes it back to camp, driven half out of his mind. A return to the cavern results in the discovery of an amorphous blob-like creature that kills one of the team and attacks another, leaving his arm covered in part of the blob. Returning to civilization, the creature becomes a clear and present danger to the world. Will Caltiki destroy the human race? A cross between The Blob and Quatermass, this is a sci-fi horror with surprisingly good visual effects for its time. And the result of the attack on the diver is superb, even in monochrome. Excellent photography throughout, with an extremely effective backlit shot of the half-mad survivor of the first encounter with Caltiki, and it's well worth watching. My fifth pick is the German portmanteau movie Tears of Kali. We are presented with three tales: Shakti, Devi and Kali, all linked by the mysterious New Age group called the Taylor Erickson Group. The first story involves a reporter looking to uncover the truth about the death of a guru from the woman accused of killing him. But the interviewee isn't the only one with secrets, and there's danger waiting in the dark. The second story introduces us to a drug addict as he visits an unorthodox therapist. It's a lesson to us all to choose our therapist very carefully. The final story involves a healer who hasn't healed anyone in months, but finds success with a woman with a pronounced stoop in his latest group. But is his success going to come at too high a price, though? We have gore, and we have three very interesting stories involving a group that just begs for a follow-up movie, but never got one. There's mystery just begging to be solved here, and it's up to you to solve what's going on, although the film gives very few answers. But isn't that the fun? My sixth pick is the Mexican ghost story, The Phantom of the Monastery. An early example of Mexican horror movies that introduces us to a married couple and their friend on a hiking trip in the hills, only to find themselves lost in the countryside. A stranger offers to show them the way to a local monastery where they can stay the night. And that's just the start of their problems, because the monks are being attacked by evil forces and a deceased monk who keeps returning to his cell. Have the trio reawakened the spirit of the long-dead monk with their complicated love triangle? Now, there's no blood and guts to be had in this beautifully shot black and white movie, but there's plenty of atmosphere. Don't expect to get too many unexpected outcomes, because by now everything's been seen before. But that doesn't make it any the less entertaining if you view it through the lens of a 1930s moviegoer. It's a film that I only discovered last year, 2023, and has awakened in me a thirst for more Mexican horror movies. We're back in Japan for my last pick, One Cut of the Dead, which is a blood-soaked zombie movie with a difference. A film crew are shooting a zombie movie in an abandoned warehouse when they find themselves attacked by real zombies. Sounds like a standard horror movie plot until everything changes and we are presented with a seriously funny comedy. I can't go into any details without spoiling it for you, so I'll leave you to your own devices on this one. What I will say is, it's gory, it's fun, and includes a non-stop, one-take, 37-minute shot to start out with. Perhaps not the longest one-take shot in a movie, but still an impressive feat. It's also the ideal end to this suggested horror festival, as it cleanses the palate, ready for the horrors of Halloween night.